honestly, if it inspires someone else to do something creative and fun, then I think it's well worth it. I think the internet could use a bit more personality and a bit more fun.
So I thought that video was pretty good. You should probably go watch it. I watched that video and then I was like, I can do that. So I did that. Then I watched this video and I was like, that video was pretty good. You don't need to watch that one though. It's like not as important. I was just thinking I could stand in front of a green screen and be an MMO guy and talk, but I don't have a green screen. So it's already a shortcoming there. And my camera isn't very good either. I mean, this thing, it's called a jelly comb. I guess like the jellyfish that I got for Zoom meetings in high school. So it's cool stuff, but should probably get it fixed. All right, this should work for now. After all, this mouse right here is the first picture on my website. But I'll talk about them more later in this video. For now, I'm just going to talk about the programming part of making my website, since that's where most of the learning was done anyway. So before watching this video, I had no clue how to create a website, not even a guess. I just knew I would be programming in some way or another.
Thank you very much.
So the first thing I had to do was look up what programming languages are used to make a website. And turns out it's HTML and CSS and JavaScript. But my website doesn't use JavaScript. I just used HTML and CSS. So I learned these two languages, but it really felt like one because HTML and CSS only really exist in relationship to each other, kind of like math and physics. I eventually learned that HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and CSS is Cascading Style Sheet. But for the coding itself, I learned pretty much everything. I learned everything from these two YouTube videos. And that took about 2 months.
Thank you very much.
I found the HTML chapter to be pretty easy, mostly just copying what the teacher in the video was typing. And then you would see a web page loaded on your local computer that was not part of the public internet, so that was pretty cool. The CSS video though was a lot harder. It was almost triple the length. And I learned a lot. Clearly I learned enough to make a website, but some of the chapters just went completely over my head. For example, the media queries chapter was just not fun and it was hard for me. And that's why some pages look like this on mobile.
Thank you very much.
But as I was coming to the end of the CSS course, I had to think about what I wanted my website to look like. And I've been playing a lot of MMOs recently. I have this hardcore classic WoW character, a WoW Mop classic character, a main account on Old School RuneScape, and now there's Cool Jazzy, the purple mouse here on the screen. So I've logged into 4 MMO characters this week, so they have been on my mind. And in the MMO world, there's a lot of people taking a break from their favorite MMO to try a new one. Mostly World of Warcraft streamers trying Old School RuneScape for the first time. And this made me think of what my favorite MMO is, and I think it's Toontown. So I combined this new programming skill I was learning with my favorite game of this important genre, and it was perfect. I wanted my website to be somewhat silly and not corporate, which is precisely what Toontown is, and I wanted it to be reminiscent of the old internet I grew up with, which again is what Toontown was for me. In fact, the game itself is only 1 year older than me. I decided my website would be a replication of the Toontown character select screen, and it was actually much easier than I thought it would be. It was basically just 6 squares with things inside of them, and I had done that in the CSS course. It was chapter 20, I had remembered that. So I replicated these 6 squares and made 5 more pages with just text and pictures on them dedicated to things that were important to me in my life. And I'm not going to talk about the pages very much because there's text on the website that can be read about them. So after only a couple weeks of casual programming, I was fine with how it looked, so I deployed it to the public internet. And that was way easier than I thought it would be. I used a service called Netlify and just dropped the files onto their website and they did it for me. And then I paid about $20 for the website name, Gavin M. Moss, which was definitely worth it. That was optional. I believe they gave me a name for the website for free, so I don't think I had to pay at all, but I did. And overall, the website was just not great, but I had made it. It's not polished and it has some simple errors, but that's alright because a lot of things need to exist before they were finished. For example, Toontown. Toontown is an unfinished game. We don't know what's under these clouds on the map. And Bossbot HQ looks like it could have been made in 5 minutes. There's nothing over there. World of Warcraft was released as an unfinished game. The late game zones like Winterspring and Swamp of Sorrows don't have much to them. And when Old School RuneScape returned to its server state of 2007, there was nearly nothing to do in the desert. So I hope this website and any MMO you may be playing just reminds you that things don't need to be perfect to exist. They can be created. So thanks for watching, or for listening really. Maybe I'll do something similar. Maybe I'll play Fish Bingo on Wednesday or something.